You know, we often think of intelligence as a kind of ladder, right? Something we're all trying to climb. But what if that's not the whole picture? What if it's more like a vast universe, filled with totally different kinds of minds? Well, that's what we're going to explore. This incredible spectrum of what I'm calling the 10 levels of intelligence.
So is it really just about how fast you can think or how much stuff you know? Or is it something way bigger, a fundamentally different way of experiencing reality itself? Yeah, that is the core question we are digging into today.
Okay, so to even begin to wrap our heads around this universe of minds, we have to start at the foundation. We're talking about intelligence that is grounded in the immediate, physical world. This is the intelligence of the here and now.
At level 1, let's call this sensory intelligence. This is a mind that operates purely in the present moment. It's not about weaving complex logical arguments. Instead, it's about experiencing the world through raw, unfiltered data from the senses. You know, the warmth of a hand, the sharpness of a sound. It's a universe of pure sensation.
And this points to a really fascinating, almost paradoxical strength. See, by bypassing all the complex layers of language, this kind of awareness can attune into a profound emotional frequency. It's an intelligence of pure feeling, not abstract thought. You just know.
Moving up to level 2, we find practical intelligence. This is the genius of the hands-on world. Think of the mechanic who can just listen to an engine and know exactly what's wrong, or the chef who can create a masterpiece without ever looking at a recipe. This isn't about book smarts. It's about learning by doing, through repetition and muscle memory. And honestly, it's the absolute backbone of our society.
All right, let's climb up to the next tier. Now we're going to look at how intelligence starts to engage with all the complex rules of modern society. You know, the difference between just following the rules and actually seeing the whole game.
And here we are at level 3, average intelligence. This is where things get really interesting, because you run into this classic trap. You're smart enough to build a solid fortress of your own opinions, but maybe a little too comfortable inside to ever question if you should leave it.
This chart shows that trap perfectly. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? Your confidence is way up here, but your actual competence is, well, it's a bit lower. And why would you go looking for new, challenging information? From inside that fortress, everything seems to be working just fine.
So here is the real fork in the road. An average mind is fantastic at mastering the game it's playing, and that is a super valuable skill, no doubt about it. But as you climb higher, the perspective shifts. You stop just playing the game and you start seeing the entire system behind the game, the rules that make the rules.
But seeing the world like that, well, that can be a real double-edged sword. We're talking levels 4 and 5 here. When you start seeing patterns that literally no one else around you sees, it can feel like the whole world is moving in slow motion. And that can be incredibly frustrating, leading to this deep and often painful sense of isolation.
Okay, get ready, because now we are entering a whole different territory. This is the point where intelligence stops just navigating the world as it is and starts actively redesigning it.
At level 6, we find giftedness. This isn't just about raw processing power. This is where that power merges with a relentless, almost desperate drive to create and deconstruct things. It's an unstoppable creative fire. The mind just can't stop taking things apart and putting them back together in brand new ways.
And that drive is what builds towards the real leap, the leap to genius at level 7. You see, a smart person answers the question. A gifted person reframes it to find a better answer. But a genius? A genius looks at the question and asks, wait, why are we even asking this? They question the very questioner, and in doing so, they change the entire game for everybody.
So if genius is all about going deep, the polymath at level 8 is all about going wide. This is the grand synthesizer. Their curiosity is just boundaryless. They see the universal principles connecting totally different fields: art, science, philosophy, you name it. They're not just building a career, they are building an entire world.
Then we get to level 9, the visionary. These are the great disruptors of history. They don't just see a different future, they have the intellect and, just as importantly, the sheer will to drag that future into the present. They introduce ideas that seem completely insane, right up until the moment they become the new reality for everyone else. And that brings us to the final frontier, the last stage. This is where the entire purpose of intelligence gets turned on its head. Because at level 10, the outward journey, that endless quest for more knowledge, it just stops. The pursuit of intelligence turns inward. It's like the mind has been a telescope looking out at the universe, and now it finally turns the lens around to look at itself.
It's not about knowing the world anymore. It's about knowing the knower.
This is what we call transcendent intelligence. The mind stops serving the individual ego. It's no longer about being right or being the smartest person in the room. It becomes an instrument of pure awareness. The need to win just dissolves, and the mind can finally comprehend the nature of knowing itself.
Which leaves us with one final thought to ponder. What is the ultimate purpose of a mind? Is the grand project of intelligence an outward journey to know the world? Or is it an inward journey to finally know itself?